Buenas. Si quieren venir para vivir en Paraguay, es mejor entender y hablar un poco español. Y por eso traigo mi profesor y mi amigo Thomas. And we'll switch up into English to make it a little bit more compelling and easier to understand for you all. I have my good friend and Spanish teacher Thomas here from Pangea. Thomas, welcome.
Hola Lester, ¿cómo estás? Voy a hablar un poco de español para que vean que soy paraguayo auténtico. But obviously I speak English. Thank you very much for the invitation today. I think, as you said, learning Spanish and living here in Paraguay is the perfect combination because, I'm just want to give you some data. 95%, or let's put it the opposite way, only 5% of Paraguayan population speaks languages outside Spanish and Guarani. So learning Spanish is a must, not only for being cultural and being knowledgeable about the country you're going, also because you need to survive in Paraguay and it's really important for you to connect with people.
Yes, this is important notice, and it's always what we tell people if they want to live here. They should at least get to understand a little bit of Spanish para empezar, to start with. So you have this great institute called Pangea. How did it start? What's the story behind Pangea?
It's a long story. I think it's a life project because Pangea is not only focused on languages, right? It's about a global connection between people. I think, and as a person, I think that languages sometimes and throughout history have been a barrier, right? Nowadays, in the 21st century, we live in a world that you could live one day in Paraguay, one live in the Netherlands, one day in another country because we're so connected, right? And here in my country, education sometimes is missing or we have some lack or certain relegation comparison to other countries in Latin America. So when I was in Germany, I studied in Heidelberg, right?
You studied in Germany.
Yeah, I did my degree there and I also work there.
What kind of degree?
I'm a business engineer.
Business engineer.
Yeah, I wrap up university there and I work in Germany. I have the European experience, and if it's something that I want to highlight about Europe is how people manage different languages because all the European countries are so close, right? And I want to transmit this to Paraguay because I think that Paraguayans need an opportunity, and sometimes Paraguayans have the talent, right? But they couldn't connect because of English, right? And the same happened with the people that are coming to Paraguay, right? The expats that are coming to Paraguay need Spanish because they couldn't communicate with the locals. So sometimes they feel lonely or I cannot make too much friends, right? Because Paraguay, as a highlight and as a low light, I'll say nothing is online. Nothing is in the internet, right? You have to live it, experience it, right? So what happened is that I want with Pangea to make that mix. Not only to learn it okay, I know Spanish by the books. I want to show people the Paraguayan culture through the languages, right? And that was my whole idea. Obviously, 2 years have passed now and we have improved the idea, let's say. And nowadays we have Spanish for all the expats that are coming, English for the Paraguayans, German, and also something interesting right now, Guarani.
Wow.
That is our second bilingual because Paraguay is bilingual. We have a native language that is Guarani and also Spanish because we were a Spanish colony. So we have both.
Interesting. So just in 2 years, you've expanded quite fast, I assume. How big is the team now?
35 people right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have 7 full-time people and then we have a network of teachers that are super standardized because we do the training sessions. We're really close by with our teachers.
Wow, 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 wow. Impressionante. What I personally like a lot of Pangea is that it's tailor-made. I take the private class, private lessons, and that the teachers, in this case you come to my office and we made tailor-made, or you, and with Pangea made the tailor-made program for me based on my interest, what I like the most, because then it's more interesting, because the traditional way of learning is that you have a book and there's just general interesting stuff, I assume, but not the most interested. And it's in particular for, in my case, for real estate and doing business here. It has been a great help. And you come to the office, we talk, we have, lessons. I still keep on learning every week.
Pero tu español está mucho mejor.
Sí, mejorando, pero no es en el nivel que lo quiero, pero vamos paso a paso. We go step by step.
Exactly.
And so you have your expat background on yourself. How old are you, Thomas?
I'm 24 right now.
24.
Yeah, I turned 24 in February.
February, you just turned 24. You've been doing this for 2 years. You've studied 2 years in Germany.
Yes.
You have been also in the Netherlands, so I heard.
I have been many times because one of my best friends study in Tilburg, right? And I live in Bonn. So every 15 days I went to the Netherlands and we visit around. So my second favorite country in Europe is the Netherlands.
Wow, wow, wow. And if I may ask, how did you learn English so well? Because if you say that 5% of the Paraguayans speak English or other language, you said, not in particular English, but how did you learn it then so well?
Okay, I went to a bilingual school since I was a kid, right? I think that that's like the 80% of my knowledge is there, but the 20% was my international experience. I have been working like in like different companies throughout my experience, right? I work in DHL and Deriv, that is like a trading company here in Paraguay, but it's a multinational company, right?
Wow.
And it's funny that I never had a job in Spanish throughout all my life. And I am Paraguayan, so
24.
yeah, so all the like the jobs I had in the past, like even though I was not like working on myself, right? we're in English. So I think that part also helps because obviously at school I have the subjects in English and this is a good practice.
Yeah.
But then the experience of working, selling in English, talking to people, you know, making networking, making events, presentations that we have been together, right? That's like the experience you need to talk in public in English. That is way different than studying, you know.
Yeah, put it into practice.
Yeah, put it into practice on the real life that you have money on the stake, let's say, right?
Yeah, I respect that a lot for what you're doing, because I also know from our mutual friends, local friends that are in real estate, that you're helping them out to present in English and improving like the general level of English in here to make this bridge between each other. So it's not just the expats that are coming to you that you're teaching, but the other way around as well. The importance of the language, because you invited me month ago to the University Pacifico, close by here. We're in the city center of Asunción in the back. Beautiful view, green,
And
amazing.
it's one of the top universities, you know.
Yeah.
Pacifico is like top 5.
Yeah, and we had this session because you were involved also with these schools. And I had to present there something about life in Paraguay, and the students asked questions about opportunities.
Yeah, there
What
were
was-
like 235 people.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
really, really interesting. I had to do it in Spanish, half and half in English. But they asked like, what are the opportunities? And I thought it to be really interesting, because if only 5% of the local people speak another language, and of that 5%, German is also a language, and obviously English. If they start speaking, opening up for this other language, they have so many more opportunities, because it basically takes away the barrier of the language. And the other way around, the immigrants coming here to integrate, to understand the culture, it's also important to do this. And this is why you always organize these events of the two different backgrounds, expats on one side and local people.
Exactly.
To karaoke night and all kinds of interesting things.
I think that's part of our methodology. Like we didn't go like really deep into what are our classes, but to make it like super simple, our methodology is for people to have the theoretical and the practical way of learning, right? Theoretical part, you need to like master the conversational Spanish in this case, right? In 100 hours. Our focus is that we know that people sometimes like come here and they don't have like too much time to study or do stuff because they have like life, you know, they are traveling around Paraguay, getting to know, adapting to the new country, you know. And we want as Pangea to be like a companion throughout that process, but not to be like classes forever, like 6 years, 5 years, something short for giving them all the tools to learn and use the language, right? So our program is more focused on the usage of the language, not on the grammar and specific points, right? And the practical part that for me is the best, right, is like on top that you already are having classes, structuring yourself to speak good Spanish, you have events to share with other people, Paraguayans that are learning English, but they're native speakers in Spanish.
Yeah.
And you, as an expat, are contributing to speaking English with them to practice. So we did different events, you know, from parties, right? That is like funny, but also cultural events. We visit Palacio de Lopez, that is like the government house, let's say. Now we're organizing a downtown tour, you know, for getting to know all the national heritage we have here, you know, the Casa de la Independencia, Panteón de los Héroes, you know, things where you'll see cultural stuff in English, you know, and having the chance to sharing with people that speak Spanish, you know. So it's a good mix because you're not learning only the language, also you're learning the culture.
Yeah. So what is the Paraguayan culture? What specifies it? What
If
defines it?
if I
you as a
if I have
Paraguayan?
to describe what is Paraguay, is freedom, right, and friendship. I'll say these are the two main things that describe the Paraguayan culture. You know, we are friendly people that
Really?
we want to always we greet and we are like open to the expats that are coming here. And probably if you have not been in Paraguay yet, you will feel it when you come here. Like from the first approach that you have with someone at the airport, people are smiling. Hey, where are you from? Like, why did you come here? They want to show you things around. They share with you contacts. If you, hey, do you have a contact about this? Boom, people like just share it. They're not like, I say, like they want these new people that are coming here to Paraguay and they want to integrate them, right? And freedom because here you make your own choices. Like government is not into you. Also talking about the taxes, you know, like I started my own business here in Paraguay as a young entrepreneur, and it was 72 hours. I have my EAS, that is like a type of
Entity.
entity,
Business
let's say business entity here in Paraguay, and with my lawyer and my accountant, I have everything solved. There's no major issue, and I'm happy having my business here. And it's not like stressful, you know. It's like chill. The government push you to start new things, and I think that's something to highlight about Paraguay.
And the taxes are low for that.
And the taxes are super low, and that helps a lot to have better margins, you know.
Given your experience with learning, teaching people Spanish, and particular expats, because you're speaking English, so the expats will be looking. How many hours would someone need to kick this off? Assuming there's no experience, no prior experience.
I think the 100 hours, like if you're starting from scratch, the 100 hours are good for setting a base. You know, you will have conversational survival Spanish, right? But in the reality, we have a lot of people that took the 100 hours and then they want to go a little bit more, right? And they, in another 100 hours, they master Spanish, right? So
Mastering in 200 hours? You
we
think
have
so?
we have one guy that I have as an example. He was from the Czech Republic, and he was crazy. You know, like he took classes every day, 2 hours every day. I mean, Sundays and Saturdays.
Yes.
And because he was like only 3 or 4 months in Paraguay in total in the whole year, like we give him this personal attention, let's say, of having classes on Sunday and Saturday, right?
The day of God.
And the guy, every time that comes to Paraguay, takes classes, you know, and every time that he comes, and I think by now he's like for 180 hours or something, like there's a huge difference how he speaks, how he defends himself, right?
Wow.
And imagine this guy, his English was not good.
Oh.
So it was even a problem that sometimes we have to mix English with German to teach him and transmit the concepts in Spanish. So I think that he's my best example of someone that is really determined to learn the language, can make it.
With the right motivation.
With the right motivation.
right
because obviously, as an institute, we put all the tools on the table. But we have to be honest that every person decides how important it is for your life. Usually it happens because we're human beings and we sometimes want to be like slackers, right? That when we are like till here, then is when, okay, I need Spanish, you know? It's not that we're gonna do the preparation and stuff. We have some people that are exceptions, but usually it's someone that is that desperate because, hey, I cannot communicate. I need Spanish, you know?
Would you advise some Duolingo on the side for people
Yeah,
to start?
Duolingo is good for refreshing the vocabulary or learning some like pinpoint, some like easy stuff. But Duolingo is not a teacher. Duolingo is an aid for learning. Let's say that you take classes and you do Duolingo, very good because you have the classes where you speak, where you practice, where you do the stuff, where you can ask questions. And Duolingo, when you don't have your teacher, right? But you know that the next class you will have your teacher to ask stuff, you know? So I think Duolingo is an aid, but I don't know anyone that have learned or mastered language with Duolingo.
You're completely right on that. I know for a fact some people that done it for a year and they come here and they understand some words, but like making it
exactly
is
my suggestion is that is better than doing nothing, right?
For sure.
but to be honest, right, it's an aid, but it's not like the way of learning Spanish.
Well, for the people that done the expedition, the Project Paraguay expedition, you and your team are familiar faces because we also do in the evening, we do one of the evenings, we do a Spanish little seminar, some Guarani, quiz, and the upcoming expedition will do that again. We're gonna...
I think by now people master the exam, so now we have to upgrade it a little bit more. The next presentation.
Yes. Working on it, work in progress. And based on that, there was demand also for you to do online sessions.
Yes.
So can you elaborate on that? Because I get questions all the time during the expedition. Do I do it? And I say yes.
Right now, we are receiving a lot of requests of people that like came to the expedition, went back to the Netherlands, and right now they are looking for
also
classes.
Belgian people.
Belgium, true. And they are looking for classes because they want to be prepared when they come back here, so they could start online. We have on-site and online classes. Obviously, the on-site classes are really good because you have this practical thing when you're here. But it's way better to start online if you know that you're coming in the next 3-4 months. Then you come here and you could start on-site. Like we have the same prices for online and for on-site because the quality of the classes are the same, right? So we have some people, right, and even clients of yours that already took the course. Sometimes they have a trip to the Netherlands, they continue their classes. When they come back to Paraguay, they come on site.
In the same package.
So it's the same package because our study plan for each student is tailor-made. So each class or each group that we have, some people like join together, let's say 3 or 4 people or 2 people, pairs, right? They join together to start their classes. And we create a tailor-made study plans for each one of the groups because every group or every person have a way of learning. There are some people that are kind of slow with the conversation, so we have to make more, structure. Okay, say this first, say this second. And we have some people that they want to speak whatever, and they prefer to make mistakes, but they're not shy to speak.
I always advise that, by the way.
So you're that.
Just do it.
You're that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So with you, sometimes if I structure you too much, then you get bored. So I have to be like more open and make more open questions. With someone else, I have to be super structured because this guy or woman needs this structure to learn. So this is the added value that we give at the class. It's 100 hours that we have with someone, and we want them to have at least a conversational Spanish to survive. That's our goal. Then someone could go a little bit up, a little bit here, but our goal, if you go through Pangea, have conversational Spanish when you finish the course. That's what we look.
Interesting. So looking at the expat experience that you have had so far, what's the trend? What do you see? Why are the people coming here, in your opinion?
I think, as I told you, I live in Germany, so I think that's also what people like about our classes. Like when they get to know me personally, I try to my way of transmitting my company is taking the first meeting, because I think that is super important, especially in education, for people to see who is in charge, So I try to do this, and when I told them like my experience that I live in Germany, that I have international experience. I feel really relate with them because even though I had a great experience in Europe because I was at I don't know, really young, you know, I was not on the family mood I was just living life. I realized that I could never start a business in Germany. Never.
Why not?
Taxes, government, a lot of overruling, you know, even though in certain way that helped my experience to adapt to the country because everything was online, everything was like, I need this information, it's here. But for entrepreneurs, this or for people that like freedom, this is not life. This is super structured, you know. And I feel that is one point. And the second point, a little bit of social issues, let's say, in the European countries that I have seen. Imagine, I felt that as an expat,
Foreigner, yeah.
as a foreigner. So I felt this as a foreigner. I saw a lot of like revolts and marches in the street, like a lot of, I don't know, Arab countries that they were protesting about something, you know, and I think that that's not like good, let's say, for a society. And here in Paraguay, like we have peace, and I think that that's better for starting businesses.
Are you not afraid, and as a Paraguayan, that by all these expats coming here, that the culture will also be mixed in a form like European has been going on?
I think that for some people it will be harmful, right? That the expats come here, to be honest, right? Because people that they don't know English, people that they will be like relegated.
Would it be harmful? In what way?
In a way that if that people that don't adapt to these changes will like be like go down in the how you say the hierarchy of the society, you know, because people that know English, people that could relate with the expat
They
will
have
go
more opportunities.
we will have way better opportunities.
Yes.
Like myself, right?
Yeah.
All this like change for me, it's great. But for some people, it's like, oh my God, I cannot communicate. Like things are happening and I'm not aware.
But on the other hand, you're helping them out to give them the
Exactly. That's
opportunities.
my point. I want to help them for going up all together because if the immigration that is coming to Paraguay is really good because there are people that are like same values than the Paraguayan society. They all come with a job, you know, they're usually people with high income, high ticket, let's say.
Or high wealth.
Exactly. So in certain way, they will adapt to the Paraguayan society. What happened is that the Paraguayan society should adapt also to them. And that's when you need to learn English, need to know a little bit about international business and new trends, right? So it's also a responsibility of Paraguayans, you know, for not getting behind. So that's my
That's a choice. In essence, it's a choice of them wanting that or not. And on the other hand, we can also, I feel responsible also for the immigrants to be good immigrants because we look in the
Exactly.
Netherlands and we see immigrants, second generation, third generation immigrants not speaking Dutch or in Germany, no German or a little bit. Like, you don't want to be that kind of immigrant. That's always what I preach. Like, you
I
don't want to
think
be that.
everyone has their responsibility because Paraguayans are super friendly. But as a Paraguayan, I like the expats or the foreigners that are coming here to learn Spanish, to respect the Paraguayan values,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
And to try to adapt a little bit to the country and not only using it for a tax hub or something like that. Because that's the whole point of like living abroad, getting to know the other country like you did. You have friends, you start a business, you know Spanish, you speak Spanish like
Still
half.
missing Guarani.
Still missing Guarani, but
is the next phase.
like I understand that one, and even for me, it's hard. Imagine I'm Paraguayan and it's hard.
But once Rafael gets it on school, I will look and I will try to go together with
Yeah, but that's the attitude, you know, that's the attitude of how you move to a country. When I went to Germany, I learned German, I made German friends, I had a job,
Yeah.
I studied there, I made connections and I get to know the country from the inside. To be a good immigrant, let's say. And that's what I expect for people that are coming here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one thing I didn't say in the video is that part of my lessons, half of the part is the subjects that are business-wise, and the other half are conspiracy-related talks, because we share also a shared subject called conspiracy talking, which is interesting if you try to translate it into Spanish and get really this power. But yeah.
And that's the whole point of Pangea. You know, I know your profile, so I could prepare tailor-made content that I know you like in English or Dutch in Spanish, right?
But you also like it, because otherwise you wouldn't.
Yeah,
talking, you would think I'm
it's
a
interesting.
weirdo.
Yeah, obviously. But I know how that will activate some vocabulary that maybe you will not use it on your daily life.
True.
And then when you need to use it, I know this word.
Yeah, yeah. It helps when people ask me here for why are you here, and I can just say all these kind of conspiracies in Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, let's round it up. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think people that are never visit Paraguay before, like, know that this is a country of peace,
Yeah.
country of freedom, and like, as a Paraguayan, I expect all these things that I just mentioned from them, and I think that Paraguayans will retreat them with the same if they feel that. Like, Paraguayans are people that, like, they're super loyal. Let's say you treat them good, they will like give you back loyalty. And I think that if they go with the right foot, they will have a good experience here. And one of the good things that they should start doing is learning Spanish, learning the culture, try to, these little things that when you go to another country and you know something really specific, people are like, hey, how do you know that? And then you get into the group.
Yeah. Well, the learning part, I'm thankful for being there. Honest also with Pangea, and for the learning part as well, I arranged a special deal,
Special gift for
a
you.
special gift for the Project Paraguay people of the Project Paraguay network, that they can have the first half an hour of private class for free as an introduction to see how the Spanish lessons are going, how to feel
Exactly.
around it, right?
Yeah, what we are going to do with Project Paraguay and all the people that come from your side, right, is giving them a setup call or setup meeting for sharing all these details to prepare a good study plan for them, and having a trial class for them to see, or at least, because I have some people even from your community that came to me with certain level of Spanish, so it's good for having a placement test. So if they start from scratch, probably it's gonna be like from scratch, right? Like learning the basics. But if they have certain level, we're gonna place them to start from where they at.
Bueno. Well,
Bueno.
that's something to consider. We'll put the link how to contact. Oh no, we actually do that. We'll arrange that through the Telegram. Yes, to invite only Telegram to our close to the community Telegram.
We're gonna share the link with you, and
Yeah,
that's it.
we'll arrange it. Well, I'll see you on the next asado.
Así es,
Amigo.
mi amigo.
Ciao, ciao.
Muchas gracias.